Hello, welcome again today. Sitting out on my porch and there's a nice little breeze and looks like it may rain today, but right at the moment it's a beautiful day. So today I've entitled my message, Thorns, Weaknesses, and Grace. And we're going to read in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, and we're going to read 1 through 10. And this is Paul that's speaking. He says, I must go on boasting, though there is nothing to be gained by it. I will go on to visions and revelations of the Lord. I know a man in Christ, which Paul is talking about himself, who 14 years ago was caught up to the third heaven. Third heaven is where God resides. Whether in the body or out of the body, he's saying, I don't know if my physical body went or just my soul went. He says, I do not know. God knows. God knows everything. And I know that this man was caught up into paradise. Now remember when Jesus was on the cross and the two thieves were there? One of them asked Jesus not to forget him, to remember him when he got to heaven. And Jesus said to him, this very day you will be with me in paradise. And again, whether in the body or out of the body, I do not know. God knows. And he heard things that cannot be told. So first of all, we got to remember, it was 14 years earlier that Paul had been given this vision. It was 14 years earlier that he was given this revelation. So he was not quick in sharing what he had received. And when he did share it, he did it reluctantly. And it says that God told him things that cannot be told, which man must not utter. So he could not tell us what God said because it was not for our ears to hear. On behalf of this man, I will boast, but on my own behalf, I will not boast, except of my weaknesses. Though if I should wish to boast, I would not be a fool, for I would be speaking the truth, but I refrain from it, so that no one may think more of me than he sees in me or hears from me. We're not to think more highly of ourselves than we should. God is no respecter of mankind. Whatever God calls you to do, you do it. But we should do it with a humble heart. He says, so to keep me from becoming conceited, because sometimes when God puts us in a high position or a higher position, sometimes pride comes in. And so we don't want to think more highly of ourselves than we should. And Paul is saying that here too. So to keep me from becoming conceited because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given to me in the flesh. Now the root word of thorn describes a tent peg. Now you know with a tent peg, it gets pounded into the ground, does it not? So a thorn was given to him, and it had to be a pretty hard thorn, he's saying. He's telling us. A thorn was given to me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me. So God allowed Satan to do this to Paul. And why? Why did he? To keep me from becoming conceited. Again, don't think more highly of yourself than you can, or you should. sometimes I have to say that these scriptures really spoke to me, because when I go to preach, or I've spoken at different conferences or something, I'm always concerned that I'm going to start coughing, because I have this thing in my respiratory that I can be talking along and all of a sudden start coughing and I can't stop. And I never thought about the fact that maybe God was giving me this so that I wouldn't think more highly of myself than I should. So we have reasons, God has his reasons sometimes why we have the infirmities that we have, why the things in our lives are there. So he says, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this. Now the Hebrew word for pleaded here means he pleaded ceaselessly, passionately. He kept asking the Lord to take it away from him. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. He's saying, I strengthen you. I give you grace to do what you do. You need to depend on me. For my power is made perfect in weakness. The Bible tells us that when we are weak, he is strong. See, he gives us more than we can handle. Why? Because we want to see him at work, see his strength. We can do the things we do because he gives us the strength and the ability to do these things. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. So he's saying, in his weaknesses, he knows that God is showing strength. Sometimes God speaks in ways that we cannot even imagine, that we don't even realize he's doing through us or through others for us. So that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Because I have to rely on God. We can't rely on ourselves or anyone else, but we have to rely on God, who is our source of strength. Hope that might help you today with anything that you might be going through at this particular moment. Rest in God, draw from God, draw his strength. Don't try to do it on your own. And thorns, weaknesses, and grace. God bless you.